Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Today, our group would like to present the results of our project. Our group picked the life of the Indonesian nation during the liberal and united democracy. Before I begin, let me introduce myself and the rest of my group members. My name is Kezia Loreth. As for the rest of my group members, we have Sahita Guwiratna, Zahra Aureliya, and Raina sasikirana. This is our table of contents for today's video. We have the liberal democracy, guided democracy, and lastly, the college students and youth's role. Before I start explaining the policies, I will give you a brief description about the liberal democracy period in Indonesia, also known as the era of parliamentary democracy, was a period in Indonesian history which began on 17 August 1950, following the dissolution of the Federal United States of Indonesia less than a year after its formation, and ended with the imposition of martial law and President Sukarno's decree, resulting in the introduction of the guided democracy period on the 5th of July 1959. The first policy is Gunting Syafruddin. Gunting Syafruddin is a policy of cutting the value of money taken by the Minister of Finance, Syafruddin Prawiranegara. All notes valued at 250 rupiah and above were cut in half value. The goal is to tackle the budget deficit of 5.1 billion rupiah. With this policy, the amount of money in circulation can be reduced. The next policy is the Benteng Movement. The Benteng Movement is an economic program that was in effect during the Nasir cabinet from September 1950 to April 1951. This policy was initiated by Sumitro Jojo Hadikusumo, the Minister of Trade in the Nasir cabinet era. The Benteng Movement lasted for 3 years from 1950 to 1953 and ended when the Nasir cabinet was no longer in power. The Benteng Movement program, which was aimed at protecting the indigenous businessmen, was eventually discontinued because it was deemed a failure.
The next policy is nationalizations, the Javas Bank. On June 19, 1951, the Sukiman Cabinet established the bank's nationalizations committee based on Indonesian Republic's decision number 122 and 123. The government terminated Dr. Hawing as president of the Javas Bank and appointed Mr. Syafruddin Prawiranegara as president of the new Javas Bank. The next policy is Alibaba. Alibaba's economic system was initiated by Mr. Iskak Cokro Hadikusumo, Minister of Economics at the Ali I cabinet time. The word Ali represents the indigenous businessman and Baba represents the Chinese businessman. It consists of giving credit and government licenses to indigenous private entrepreneurs to compete with non-indigenous entrepreneurs. The last policy is National Development Conference. During the Elite II cabinet, there was tension between the center and the regions. This problem can be temporarily resolved with the National Development Conference or MUNAP. The purpose of holding the MUNAP is to change the development plan so that a comprehensive development plan for the long term can be produced. There are two impacts of liberal democracy. First, positive impact. The first of positive impact is freedom in democracy. As a pluralistic and diverse country, the application of liberal democracy has a positive impact in the form of freedom in democracy, as in the district election system. The next positive impact is multi-party system freedom. As explained in the previous point, liberal democracy gives every citizen the freedom to participate in government. Last but not least of this positive impact is advance in several industrial sectors. Liberal democracy has an influence on progress in various industrial sectors. In a liberal democracy, the private sector and the public are given the widest possible freedom to be able to manage businesses and also manage the country's resources. Second impact is the negative impact. First, convoluted government policies. Many people think that in the era of liberal democracy, Indonesia was embraced. The inequality in parliament is that too many policies are issued and they are convoluted. The next negative impact is low level of people's welfare. Although some industries have progressed, they are inversely proportional to the welfare of society. The third negative impact is the rise of rebellion in various regions. Various rebellions in the regions during the liberal democracy were due to regional dissatisfaction with the administration of government at the center, thus disrupting security and worsening economic growth.
High school camp. Liberal democracy provides opportunities for those who are large and have abundant wealth to be able to compete and control the country's natural research. Stage condition become unstable. During the Liberal democracy period, the condition of the country was unstable. As a result of vacant cabinet change that occurred during the Liberal democracy period. Point 2. Gadet democracy. Gadet democracy is Indonesian democracy terpimpin, was the political system in place in Indonesia from 1959 until the new order began in 1966. It was the brainchild of President Sukarno and was an attempt to bring about political stability. Sukarno believed that the parliamentarian system implemented during the liberal democracy period was ineffective due to Indonesian divisive political situation at the time. Policy in guided democracy. 1. Work Cabinet formation. The Working Cabinet was formed on July 10, 1999, and in this cabinet, Insinyur Sukarno sat as Prime Minister and President, while Insinyur Juanda sat as the First Minister. Point 2. Presidential appointment of life. President Sukarno gave a speech entitled Rediscovering Our Revolution. This speech is known as the Political Manifesto of the Republic of Indonesia. Point 3. The forming of MPRS. The People's Consultative Assembly was formed through Presidential Decree 2 of 1959. All MPRS members are appointed and dismissed by the President on condition that they agree to return to the 1945 Constitution. Point 4. Forming of the National Front. The National Front was formed to secure and implement the manifold ASDAC as GBHN and unite all forms of national potential. 5. Dismissal of the House of Representatives. The President dissolved the DPR as a result of the election with the President Decree No. 5 of 1916. After that, the President of the DPR took Presidential Decree No. 4 of 1916 on 24 June 1916. Point 6. Dismissal of Masyumi and PSI. Generally, political parties and mass organizations support the President Decree of 5 July 1956 and the President Decree No. 7 of 1959, which regulates whether or not a political party can exist in.
7. The socialization of Nasacom teachings. In running the government, President Sukarno fought to unify the understanding that flourished in society and thus gain a common understanding. In time, this belief became known as nationalism, religion, and communism. 8. The forming of Koti. Koti took direct control of the armed force and placed each one in the minister position under the president. Okay, we're gonna move to the next part. Impact of guided democracy. The first one is we're gonna talk about the positive impact, and the second one is negative impact. Start from positive impact is the avoidance of conflicts in Indonesia, and then there's the Indonesian state can restore the constitution as a government guidelines. And the negative impact is misuse of president's power and enforcement of two military functions so that the military can follow politics. College students and youth role. In 1950 to 1956, when Indonesia implemented liberal democracy, which gave rise to many political parties, so some student and youth movement were brought under the direction of party political struggles such as GMNI close to the PNI, PMII to the NU party, HMI to Masyumi, and other movements that began to be close to the party. Thus, the role of students into the political realms. I think it's enough from our team, and we're hoping for the best. Special thanks to our teacher, Mr. Wawan and Mr. Cahyo.